Hello, everyone. I am Christina Llerena from Boundless Love Ministries. It's so wonderful to see you here tonight. This is our debut program called Book Bytes, and we are covering some of the key points of our book, Boundless Love, Healing Your Marriage Before It Begins. My husband Javier and I wrote this last September, and we are delighted to share it with you. And Loving Me, Myself, and I is the first chapter of our book. And we just wanted to break it down like in these small bites so that you get a sense of sort of the main takeaway points. And hopefully you find it really helpful and interesting. So this is our little mini presentation, and I hope you enjoy it. So first off, our mission at Boundless Love is to create life-changing marriages. But our book and the subject of this talk is really aimed at both singles, couples, anyone at any point in their relationship, not just folks who are married. It certainly applies to married people, and it also applies to engaged, but everyone else in between. So the first chapter is really about this concept of loving me, myself, and I. And this is like the foundation, per se, of really how we start any relationship that we want to thrive and be spiritually grounded in our faith and to be something that we grow with, right? Together as partners. So the first real takeaway of this chapter is to love yourself, love you first, right? So this means having a healthy relationship. How can you possibly have a healthy relationship with anyone else, right? If you don't love yourself first. And that's, again, this kind of bedrock or founding principle so that we understand that self-love is a necessary ingredient for a thriving marriage. And it's so important that we don't look to someone to complete us or fulfill us or to fix us, that we all are broken because we're human beings, but that we're not seeking another human being to be that perfect fix, right? So self-love is rooted in a much more grounding compassion for oneself. So the next real major point of this chapter is talking about and embracing this truism of that you are a child of God. And in your faith, this is really acknowledging at a deeper level, really at a heart and soul level, that you are God's child, right? And that you are precious, that you are loved unconditionally, and that He wants the best for you and He's protecting you. So accepting that, coming to terms with that, feeling that, in your bones per se, is so important. And to remember and cultivate that knowledge so that you can continually, because we don't do this once or twice, right? We love and forgive ourselves and our partner again and again throughout our relationships. And when we're grounded, when we're rooted in that true acceptance and understanding that we're a child of God, that empowers us to know that we deserve love, that we're worthy of a beautiful, healthy, thriving marriage, and that we can extend His love more and more through our faith to our partner. And this is something that also then leads itself right into this it's actually a metaphysical law, and it's a spiritual truth. Like attracts like. And so when you truly love yourself, when you embrace your kind of warts and all, and we talk a lot about this in chapter 1, you then attract someone who can do that as well for themselves, right? That they have reached this level of acceptance. And this isn't to be confused with complacency. This is about self-acceptance, right? Rooted in this spiritual faith and understanding. So this sustains you as a person. It sustains you in relationship. And this is so key, right? Because you want to be attracting someone who's healthy, and as they say, water seeks its own level, right? So you want to be this complementary pair, pareja, in Spanish. And that's really about forging a life together, but you both have your own solid foundations in your spiritual relationship with God and yourself. So we're all broken, we're all human, we're all God's children, and we love ourselves and God and one another, and we can become one together through our faith. And that's so important when you're in a relationship, but also especially when you're married, because you're married through your faith in God, and the Holy Spirit is this third force or this third being that binds you, that holds you in the best light, right? In the most healing light in your relationship. The third point, the summary point, which is sort of wrapping this all together, is that self-love is a powerful, powerful way to not only prepare yourself for that amazing relationship, but to sustain your marriage, right? To sustain your current already existing relationship. And this is something that sometimes ebbs and flows throughout our lives. We may have obstacles or threats in our married relationships or our coupled relationships. Maybe there'll be financial struggles. There's stress and anxiety, especially right now with the pandemic. And our hearts may be broken sometimes more than once throughout the course of life. And we have to root ourselves, if it's praying in a closet or taking a time out by oneself, getting a bubble bath, getting some time alone, taking a walk or hike in nature, whatever it does to rejuvenate ourselves so that our cup is full again, right? So that we can give, so that we're not depleted, and that we can really show up and be in that relationship with our partner, that we can be present, that we can be full, and that we're not looking to them to complete or fulfill us, right? So loving me, myself, and I is this kind of mantra. And one of the things that I love in the book is a quote by my husband, Javier, and he says, "The world will never show you who you are." And this is really, really building into this concept of going to God with your self-concept, like with who you are. Your image is made with him. He made you, and that is how you should be defined, by your faith, not by this external world. So going to more of an eternal time than temporal, and really remembering that you're bigger than your circumstance. And if your marriage is broken or struggling, it's much bigger than that moment, right? There's so much more history and richness and love there. And sometimes we just need to heal or call in on our faith to heal us to get through that. And the last part in each chapter of our book, I think it's so great in here. We have exercises and reflection questions, and we wanted to share with you a couple of those questions. They're not all of the questions in chapter 1, but 2 that I particularly selected for you today that I think are really powerful. And one is, what action can you take today to demonstrate or show your love for yourself, right? What is it? And we talked about some suggestions earlier. Sometimes it means sleeping in, going to bed earlier, making a doctor's appointment, reaching out to a friend. Maybe it means just, having a more consistent prayer time schedule. Whatever that is, there could be one little action you could do today to set that up. The second reflection and action would be to challenge yourself. And I do think this is a tougher one, but even bigger like reward is going to happen from this. And that is, look at yourself in the mirror and just say to yourself very gently, "I love you, Christina." You don't have to say your first name, but you can say, "I love you. I really love you." And just absorb that, because so many of us can't really make eye contact with ourselves, or if we do catch our own reflection, a lot of times those critical voices or ego come in and start, really criticizing us. So I encourage you to do this, because this is such a healing affirmation. It's almost like a prayer, really, of saying that you love yourself. And from there, you can then ask or reflect on, how did that make you feel? And those are just 2 little book bite tips or action steps that we encourage you to take today or tomorrow or this week. We think they're really powerful, and we certainly hope you find value in them and that they make you feel more restored and just more loved overall in your relationship, not just by you or your partner, but by God. So I want to thank you so much for watching today. This was our first segment of Book Bites for Boundless Love. And again, remember to love yourself. You can maybe sing, walk around your house, loving me, myself, and I. Create your own little celebration because you deserve it. And with His boundless love, you are forever adored and forever precious. So God bless. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your week. Bye now.